On this most auspicious of nights, permit me then, in lieu of the more commonplace sobriquet, to suggest the character of the Schmatus persona. Voila! In view, humble vaudevillian veteran, cast vicariously as both victim and villain by the vicissitudes of fate. This visage, no mere veneer of vanity, is a vestige of the vox populi, now vacant, vanished. However, this valorous visitation of a bygone vexation stands vivified, and is vowed to vanquish these venal and virulent vermin, vanguarding vice and vouchsafing violently the vicious and voracious violation of volition. The only verdict is vengeance, a vendetta, held as votive not in vain, for the value and veracity of such shall one day vindicate the vigilant and the virtuous. Verily, this vichyssoise of verbiage veers most verbose, so let me simply add that it's my very good honor to meet you, and you may call me V. But 100 force points to anyone who knows where that quote's coming from. What's going on, guys? Welcome back to Force Strategy Gaming. Let's do a StarCraft 2 commentary. That was intense. Yes, it was. That is a fantastic movie, and if you have yet to watch it, oh boy, I suggest doing so. I'm not gonna tip it off though. I'll leave that to the comments below. We've got a great game here. I haven't seen it. I don't know if it's great. It could be crap, but we've got a game here between FooFighter and Liquid's HuK, and I'm expecting it to be great because I was informed by the person who sent it to me that it was great, and I trust my sources. Oh yes, I do. So right now, again, HuK versus FooFighter. We are on Shakur's Plateau. In the upper left, yes, is HuK as our blue Protoss player, and in the upper right, FooFighter as the red Terran player. Terran versus Protoss, HuK versus FooFighter. Let's get ready to rumble. I've done that before. It's probably just as stupid as it just was right there. So, all right, now HuK moving right on in to FooFighter's base. Able to do a little bit of damage to the SCV. We got that Marine coming on out. SCV will want to pull back, though, because HuK will be pulling after he loses that shield, just be pulling back, letting those shields recharge, and then he will be trying to move back in, although probably won't be. Never mind, because we do have that Marine just about out, so I do expect HuK to just actually pull back on home with this, and uh-oh, here we go. With a little micro now, FooFighter should get that free kill. HuK not going to be able to escape the base. Probably going to say that was a pretty big mistake, him walking back in, although look at this, interestingly enough, we've got FooFighter with no refineries, so HuK moving back in, just making sure that a refinery wasn't dropped after he scouted that it wasn't up, and in verifying that, he knows we've got a quick expansion coming out, and here we go right now, FooFighter moving with that one Rax into expand right there. There's the command center getting laid down there for Mr. FooFighter. A little spread of those Marines at either corner of the ramp. That will help him take out any probe that tries to sneak up on there very quickly. This is very nice right here by HuK. Big thing to note with a fast expand build such as what we're seeing over here for FooFighter, that typically means, hey, you're not going to have Marauders very early, and this Stalker doing very, very well against just Marines. However, preparing for that, FooFighter coming out with that bunker, and that's going to be up in time to prevent that Stalker from actually doing any damage to those Marines. So very, very nice there by FooFighter, getting up that bunker, and again, preventing this harass that is coming from HuK. But yeah, I mean, the logic here behind what HuK is doing makes a lot of sense. One Rax into expand means no early gas, means no early Marauders, means, hey, those Marines are pretty vulnerable. But here we go. Look at that, just in time. My gosh. The Stalker walking up the second that bunker finishes. FooFighter sticking those Marines right inside, and he is all set, nice and safe. And now HuK will be expanding himself, going one gate into expand, given the fact that he did see that quick expand there for FooFighter. FooFighter appears to be transitioning here, pretty gas heavy. He does have two refineries down right now, still just sticking on these two racks, dropping a reactor and tech lab, one on each respective barracks. So we will want to keep an eye as to what he does. Being so Vespene heavy, he might just be going quickly for a medevac, also maybe just going quickly for some of that tech, getting Simpac and or combat shields. I do expect him to stick to bio heavy, just given the fact that it's really the most effective build against Protoss. You do see mech style play every now and then, but the big scary thing about mech play is that it just gets a little hairy later in the game. It's just so very slow. I think that's really the major issue with mech play in general as a Terran player. It's so very slow, so it really relies on you not spreading yourself too thin in terms of number of expansions and being able to take out your opponent before he gets to the super, super late game, because very vulnerable to multiple types of harass. So we can see right now we do have a Reaper coming out for FooFighter. He will be using that for some scouting. Back over here for HuK. That Nexus has just finished right now. A couple of sentries sitting at the front, sitting on those 3 gateways. Here comes that robotics as well. We should be seeing an observer right away when that pops out, and then wouldn't be surprised if he went straight for that robotics bay, allowing him to work his way up into Colossus, sitting on, in fact, 6 sentries right now. Now back over here for FooFighter, we can see another Rax coming out. There's the upgrade with that stim pack. We still got full saturation. Yes, we do. Full saturation on those refineries. No refineries at his expansion. You don't need a ton of those when you're going bio heavy. You just it's not necessary is essentially the point. 1 missile turret helping him deal with any possible DT harass that may come out. Another big thing too is a lot of times when Protons players send out their initial observer, they send it pretty much right in between the main and the expansion, and that would actually hit this missile turret and cause the observer to take a little bit of damage if HuK wasn't paying attention even for a moment. Reaper moving up, trying to get some scouting information. Didn't get much, but a pylon and an assimilator there. Needs to be very wary. Now a single sentry he can take out, but 2 of them he will lose to. So really that's very unnecessary. And going to be losing the Reaper without getting much scouting at all. Very nice response there by HuK, spotting that Reaper coming in to his base and sandwiching him with all those sentries. HuK, worried about any possible future Reapers moving into his expansion, moving into his main, is going to be sitting back here with these sentries. So as 1 observer is out, we've got a 2nd observer coming on through. HuK will be going up into the main, and look at where it's rallied right there by that missile turret. So hopefully HuK is paying attention to the observer and doesn't really lose that unnecessarily. And this is kind of a big advantage here to what FooFighter's doing, is if HuK's not paying attention, he could be in a whole lot of trouble. So right now HuK will be sitting up above the production buildings over here for FooFighter. Wants to keep a close eye as to what he's going for. We do have that factory coming out with that reactor. Starport coming forward. And there we go, spotting the observer. Actually, first target fired his Rax down, got a shot off on that, but then killing the observer immediately after. So unfortunately HuK losing that. HuK coming through with another one right into FooFighter's base, and looks like, yes, Rax heavy, moving right into the medevacs as well, so we'll be working to get some dropping done. We do have Stimpack and Combat Shield. They're going to be finishing around the same time. FooFighter may be planning a timing push here. Certainly could be very effective. We did see the salvage there of one of the bunkers that he had sitting up front. HuK looks to be moving out right now into his 3rd expansion with that probe back inside of his main. How many gateways are we sitting on? We're sitting on 6 gateways. We also got level 1 armor upgrade coming through, as well as those charge upgrade for those zealots. So going to be going with some charge zealots, heavy zealots early on in the game. Charge zealots work very, very well against that bio army, especially if you have enough sentries to drop some force fields and allow those zealots to catch right on up and stop that bio from microing back. But here comes that timing push from FooFighter as expected. Stimpack and Combat Shield are done. We have got the medevac coming out as well. And look at this, Ghost Academy. So we'll be seeing some ghosts come into play for some clutch EMPs. Oh, how fantastic is that going to be? Mobius Reactor coming on out, giving those ghosts some extra energy once they come into play. And actually, HuK hasn't expanded yet, but he's preparing to drop that expansion. Also has a pylon sitting over here. Pylon over here to harass the possible 3rd of FooFighter as well. Alright, so here we go, FooFighter getting ready to push forward. We do have that observer. That charge upgrade is just about to finish right now. HuK sitting with a few sentries. Nice spread over here just in case any ghosts do come on over here. It's going to allow him to be able to handle that, basically, not get too devastated by any EMPs that may get laid down. But at the moment, there aren't any ghosts here, so he doesn't really have to worry about that quite as of yet. And it looks like we'll be grabbing a few of his bio, lifting it up into the Medimax, and then trying to drop in the main. I believe that's going to be his plan, at least. 1 Marine sitting over here, a little bit injured, not sure from what, in all honesty. Observer will be spotting these medevacs, so this is going to allow HuK to be fully prepared and aware of the fact that this is coming, so this shouldn't be that much of an issue, in all honesty. HuK should be fully prepared for it, and there we go, there are those stalkers. They don't have blink. The blink research isn't coming on through. He's actually satisfied with just that charge upgrade, although I'm a little interested. He has no, oh boy, this is not good at all. He's got no zealots in play. 0 zealots, finally getting some. I think he thought he researched blink because he's sitting very stalker heavy, but he doesn't have blink. I don't know what he's doing, but he's got very few zealots, so that's pretty interesting. Stemming up in the middle, obviously taking a bit of damage from that, and HuK, as a result, just pushing on back, deciding, hey, take that stim damage, no big deal. I just won't engage at this point, and I'll walk on back. Hopefully see some more zealots warped in, though, because, again, HuK was sitting very, very stalker heavy, even though he opened up with that charge upgrade. We have that Templar Archives coming out, so we'll be working his way right up into that. I'm not sure. The medevacs didn't end up doing any dropping. As you can see here, not a lot of action so far. The resources lost very, very slim just from any of that early game aggression that we did see. FooFighter still sitting over here with his Marine. As we can see, HuK does have this expansion coming up. We don't have it. Actually, yes, we do. We do have a third coming through for FooFighter. Looks like he does plan to land that over here. That proxy pylon may come into play at that point. And here we go. Now that some ghosts are in play, FooFighter is getting ready to engage. We'll be splitting his arm. Move forward with this Mirage. Might get a little bit of damage there on those high Templar, and here we go. We need to see. Oh no, the big feedback's going down on those medevacs. So much damage dealt to those stalkers and sentries. Should be able to take those out very, very quickly. There's the EMP going down on some of those sentries and those stalkers. Ton of force fields, but the bio army of FooFighter is still able to push through. Going to do a lot of damage to those sentries. Vision of the high ground should help him still continue to do a bit of damage. Here comes this expansion over here. HuK is getting ready to start to work on that one, but he's got a lot of pressure at the front door, so he's got to be prepared for this. We got another EMP available. There it is, big EMP going down on all of those stalkers. The Zealots getting torn to shreds, and this is looking pretty scary. FooFighter has a great opportunity, and my gosh, what a quick GG. FooFighter opened up the game 1 racks into expand. Through scouting, HuK spotted the fact that FooFighter didn't have gas early on, and expecting that expansion came out with one of his own. FooFighter pushed out at 10 minutes with Stimpak, Combat Shield, and some medevacs. However, stimming up in the middle, when HuK spotted the rest of the army, he just decided to pull back and basically force the non-engagement, making FooFighter use that stim, and obviously realizing that was about to wear off, FooFighter just pulled back. Upon getting some ghosts in play, FooFighter prepared for a second push. Now this time HuK was a little prepared. He did move forward to land some feedbacks. However, these would have been much more suited for those ghosts. He took out the EMPs he took out the energy on these medevacs, but the ghosts still sitting at full energy. We're able to land some clutch EMPs. We then saw some force fields when HuK realized he was outnumbered. Didn't really matter though. FooFighter with superior forces was eventually able to push right up into the natural and force the GG from HuK. Alright, so sorry, not necessarily the epic game that I was hoping for. I'll try to get some more commentaries out to make up for this. Was an interesting game, pretty fast though, with these clutch EMPs. You know, FooFighter were just in a wonderful position, and HuK really couldn't deal with that at all. So as always, guys, thank you so much for watching. Hopefully you have enjoyed this commentary, and hopefully you enjoyed my quotation at the beginning of the game. Let me know again if you know where that is from. Thanks again, guys, and as always, keep watching and keep owning.